Hare Krishna, Mataji. Welcome. Good evening. Okay. Mataji, can see the PowerPoint? Can hear me clearly?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so welcome to Gita Gyan Level 2, Chapter 9. We are actually at the peak of the mountain, right at the top, 9th chapter. Exactly halfway, yeah? Okay. So let's pay our obeisance to our deities here. These are Gauranitai from ISKCON Vrindavan. Okay, let's go to Vrindavan for a short while. This is Gauranitai, and we have Sri Krishna Balaram. Okay, and this temple is called Krishna Balaram Mandir, Krishna Balaram Temple, or it's also called ISKCON Vrindavan. And this is the sweet Sri Radha Shamasundar, also from the same temple, ISKCON Vrindavan. Okay, so we would like to pay our respects to our spiritual teachers. Can hear me, Mataji? Jai Sitarani Mataji can't hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, Mataji, I think you have to reconnect, maybe. Okay. So while waiting for Mataji, we can go to our Kirtan. We have the Kirtania in the house, Jagadish Mataji. Welcome, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Agree for last minute.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Okay. Om Jananana Timirandasya Jana Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvise
Shone, are you here?
Yavadi
Shone!
Chikyati Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Haribo. Thank you, Jagadish Mataji.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so we move on. We pay our respects and obeisance to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So this is the introduction as usual. Understanding of Gita. Out of these 5 basic subjects, okay, so I hope you remember the 5 basic subject matters: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Karma, and Kala. Okay. Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay. So out of these 5 topics, the the Bhagavad Gita establishes that Supreme Godhead or Krishna or Brahman or the Supreme Controller or Paramatma, whatever name you wish to use, is the greatest of all. The living beings are in quality like the Supreme Controller. We control, let's say we control our small house, we control our small office, we control a small classroom or school. That's because we are in quality, we are one with the Lord. But in quantity, we are different. We are controlling the small portions around us, but Krishna controls the entire universe and beyond. Right? So the Lord has control over the universal affairs of material nature. We are only controlling the affair in our home. Right? Material nature is not independent. Right? She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. As Lord Krishna says, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. This material nature is working under my direction. When we see wonderful things happening in this cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation, there is a controller. So Krishna already made the nature perfect as it is. All right? Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish not to consider the controller. So it is childish to consider that we are the controller. Okay. Okay, let's move on to chapter 9. Okay, so in 8th chapter, can anybody tell me what's the topic of the 8th chapter? The title? At least the title. Or at least something that you remember from the 8th chapter. The title or the essence, whatever you remember. Anybody, Matajis? Attain me without doubt. Yes, attaining the Supreme. Very good, Mataji. Done. Okay, yeah, so in 8th chapter, we heard how to attain the Supreme. And now here, we are going to get the most confidential knowledge. So, before going on further, let me give you an overview. So, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sloka we covered in level 1. Okay, in this session, we are covering 11 slokas. Okay, so the first section is about qualification to hear, all right, to hear Sravanam. And then the differences between those who accept Krishna or those who don't accept Krishna. Okay, and different people with different consciousness, where do they go? What is their ultimate destination? Okay, and finally, the supremacy of devotional service. Okay, so this is how we will go. Okay. Donna. Okay. So I will not use this chart. I'm going to this chart. Okay, so there are confidential knowledge. There is more confidential knowledge, and there is most confidential knowledge. So what does this confidential knowledge referring to? Knowledge about spirit, soul, and body, and the knowledge that is useful for liberation. So this one we covered in chapter 2 and chapter 3. All right, if you remember, the body versus soul, all that is in chapter 2. And then how to work without attachment, or work with detachment to the results, or surrendering the result to Krishna. Actually, chapter 5 is also a spin-off from here. Karma Yoga means in chapter 5 is Karma Yoga also, but it's action in Krishna consciousness. Okay, and then there is more confidential knowledge. So what is this knowledge about? This knowledge which brings about enlightenment about Krishna consciousness, the position or supremacy of Supreme Lord, and his energy. So this one we covered in chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute and attaining the Supreme, which was last week. Okay, now we are done with 7, we are done with 8, we are going to 9. All right, so this 8th chapter, it's a tangent, tangent, right? Okay, this is a curve, right? So this tangent is the chapter 9. So chapter 8 is here, this point. So before Krishna goes from 7 to 9, Krishna touches this. Okay, so that is why it's called tangent. Okay, Alright, so we are at chapter 9 now, which is most confidential. Knowledge about pure, unalloyed devotion, which delineates the glories of the Lord. Okay, which means it specifies, it provides more detail. Okay, so that is where we are now, the most confidential knowledge. So chapter 9, sloka 9.1. This is not in your original PowerPoint, so I have added this, all right, because this is where the important qualities to hear Krishna has provided here. Shri Bhagavan Vacha idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyana suyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization. Why? What's the benefit? Knowing which, you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence." So there are 3 points here. One, become advanced by hearing about Krishna. Here, one must be non-envious to hear properly. Next, third, one becomes free from material miseries when he hears properly and cultivates devotional service. So 3 points from here, 3 important points from here. Okay, so you remember these 3 points. One, become advanced by hearing about Krishna. Be non-envious to hear properly. And with that, one is freed from material miseries. So a quick recap. All right. One, become advanced by hearing about Krishna. One must be non-envious to hear properly. One becomes free from material miseries when he hears properly and cultivates devotion service. Based on the hearing, he is engaged in the devotion service. So the first one is the means. All right. What are the qualifications? That is point number 2. And then finally, the benefits, freed from material miseries. So it's important we hear, right? That's why we are here. So now this whole Bhagavad Gita is like a sandwich. We have outer layer, we have another outer layer, and there is the essence in the middle. So the outer layer refers to karma, dhyana yoga, all the analytical studies we covered in the beginning from chapter 1 to chapter 6. Okay. Then we have in the middle 7 to 12 Bhakti Yoga. It is concealed very carefully. All right. Then finally we have Jnana Yoga 13 to 18. Okay. So I'm done. Okay. So Krishna decided to deliver this Bhagavad Gita. Out of everybody that Krishna knows and sees, Krishna decided to give this to Arjuna. Arjuna is the chosen one. So because Arjuna, as a friend, as a cousin, he is not envious. Envy is a quality of people in material world. Okay, in spiritual world, there is no enviousness. All right. So, sometimes people are envious because others have more money, they are more successful, they have better brain, they have better looks. So similarly, there are people who are envious of Krishna. So they are envious of Krishna because Krishna is the most good looking, he's the strongest, and so many more. He has 6 opulences, isn't it? But Arjuna is not envious. So Krishna appreciates Arjuna in that sense. So Krishna is going to give Arjuna the most confidential knowledge, by which, again, one becomes free from miseries of material world. Now, question may be asked, if the knowledge, then why, if the knowledge is so important, why is it not made easily available? Why is it made confidential? Why it is hidden between karma, dhyana, and jnana? Why is it hidden? Because if we give it to unqualified people, they might not use it correctly, or they misinterpret it, or they misuse it. So it is kept for devotees who are very serious about it. So the moment you are already past 8th chapter and you're at 9th chapter, you are ready to hear this. So that is why Krishna kept this chapter in the middle, right? So it's not for everyone. Okay. Okay, 9.2, we have Indrani Mataji. You can unmute Mataji. Are you able to? Indrani Mataji is not here. Okay. Alright, let me do it. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Midam Uttamam Pratyaksha Vagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, the most secret of all secrets. Raja Vidya means king of education, king of knowledge. It is the purest knowledge, Pavitram. Pavitram means purest. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, means you can perceive the benefit of this knowledge. It is therefore it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Okay, you have bonus there. It is joyfully performed and it is everlasting. A lot of material enjoyments, it may be joyful to perform, but the benefit or the effect is not everlasting. So sukham, sukha means happy, gambira, right? Joyfully performed. So bhakti is the best of all knowledge, and it is Krishna has given this knowledge in this chapter. So bhakti is itself is confidential. Its another name is Kevala Bhakti, pure confidential. Because not many people can understand, therefore they might not be able to appreciate. Just like a king, he may have a lot of jewels, expensive jewels, but if he shows that to a child, he cannot understand. The child cannot understand the value of this jewel. So people who have no knowledge of yoga, no knowledge about self-realization, they cannot understand this knowledge. Okay, so why this knowledge is so important, so confidential, so crucial? This knowledge, because this knowledge can destroy all kind of sinful reactions which are there in our body. All the sinful reactions are removed by the power of this knowledge. This sinful reaction, is caused because of our ignorance. So with knowledge, ignorance is removed. So therefore, your sinful reactions will be burned. Okay, so this is the special nature. It is joyfully performed. Why? Because the nature of the soul is joyful. I wanted to show a video of the elephant. It was walking with, like the jaywalk like that. It's so happy. I wanted to put that. I forgot. I wanted to show you. So it shows that all living beings are naturally joyful. That's why everybody is seeking happiness, because that is the nature of the soul. The soul is eternal, full of knowledge, full of bliss. Okay, that is the word bliss. So it's happy, always happy, but it's covered with so much of dust. All right, so the original nature of the soul is it should be awakened to come to that joyful platform. Okay, and it's everlasting. Spiritual activities benefits is everlasting, so we can go on doing this again and again. So we derive much pleasure and ecstasy from this. Okay, so what is the secret of all secrets? Bhakti, it's avyayam. It is everlasting. It can be practiced anytime. Okay, let's see one by one who have practiced bhakti at different stages of life. You don't have to be like, I'm gonna come to that stage at that age at this time. Once I'm settled down, that I'm going to practice bhakti. So we see those personalities that refuted this theory. All right. Let's see, first one. Who has done bhakti in womb? Can anybody tell me who has done bhakti in womb? Started hearing in the womb itself. Anybody? Anybody? Prahlad Maharaj. Thank you, Amita Mataji. Yes. When Prahlad Maharaj was in the mother's womb, Narada Muni came and spoke about, gave this knowledge to Prahlad in the womb. So if you remember, Prahlad Maharaj is the son of demon king Hiranyakashipu. Okay, so he started before he was even born. Okay, next is who can tell me what picture is this? There's one Muni here and there's a deer next to him. Anybody? No. I think I mentioned last week. He got a deer body because he was so attached to the deer. His name starts with B. Okay, this is Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj, he performed devotional service in his early life, but due to his attachment to the deer, when he died, he was so engrossed, his mind was so engrossed on the deer, and he died thinking of the deer. Then he was reborn as a deer. He was reborn as a deer. But he was not an ordinary deer. He lived among the sages. He ate only prasadam. He was hearing from them. So he cultivated bhakti while in animal's body, in deer's body. All right. So in the next birth, he became a very poor, very simple person. His name was Jada Bharat. Okay. So at the end, he perfected his life and went back to Godhead. So this shows that even animal can perform bhakti. All right. And then the next is Ajamil. Ajamil, in early days, he was a great devotee, but due to the association of prostitute, he engaged in abominable activities for survival. But because of the son's name, Narayana, the calling out the name of the son saved him at the time of death. Okay, so the conversation between Yamaduta and Vishnu Dutta, he was saved, and he renounced after the incident was over. He renounced and he went on to perfect his life. So he performed bhakti towards end of his life. He continued, okay, and then he went back to Godhead. So this is old age. This is in the womb. All right. And then next we have Gajendra. This is an elephant. There was a fight, very, very long, prolonged fight between a crocodile and Gajendra, the elephant. So Gajendra prayed very intense prayer, and Lord Vishnu came on Garuda and rescued him. So bhakti can be performed in distress. Okay. In animal body as well. All right. This is the story I'm going to tell. This is a very long story. This is a Vritrasura. Vritrasura. And a being can even perform bhakti in asura body. So this is an example. Okay, let's try to do the story. So what happened was, I tried to make it very short. It's a very long story, but there's so much information in this story. So Vritrasura in his previous life was King Chitraketu. Okay, towards end of his life. So that was a big incident. I think I covered this in level 1 about soul and body. Okay, the baby who died and came back and then spoke. You know that story. So the baby's father was the King Chitraketu. So towards end of his life, he attained elevated position. Okay, so because of that, he was able to travel to outer space. So one time when he traveled to outer space, there was an incident where he laughed at Lord Shiva. It wasn't a misunderstanding. Lord Shiva understood why King Chitraketu laughed. But Mother Parvati misunderstood, and she thought this King Chitraketu was so arrogant. I should curse him. He's so arrogant. I will curse him to become a demon. So King Chitraketu is very well aware that it was a misunderstanding. He didn't mean to laugh out of arrogance, but because Mother Parvati already cursed him, he came down and he paid obeisance, and he told he was not morose at all, and he apologized and he accepted the curse. He did not justify or anything. He didn't get angry, no moroseness, no sadness. And then there was some conversation and he left. And then Lord Shiva turned to Mother Parvati and said, did you see the quality of a Vaishnava? He did not mean to do that. That was not his intention. But because you cursed him, and he also was not morose, he did not display any moroseness, but he actually paid respect, and he went on look at the quality of Vaishnava. So there were long conversation. Now fast forward to another story. what happened here at Lord Indra's place is that Lord Indra was getting puffed up with his opulences. So these demigods, they had a spiritual master, a guru for them. He's called Brihaspati. So at one point of time, because of that opulences, Lord Indra offended the guru. The guru is Brihaspati. Okay, so what happened was the and then he realized that he made an offense, but he wanted to look for Brihaspati to seek forgiveness. Okay, but then Brihaspati was nowhere to be found. So Lord Indra, with all the demigods, they went to seek Lord Brahma's help. So Lord Brahma chastised. Okay, I think I go to this one. Oh yeah, I have different slides. Okay, let me go here. Right, so we are here. He left the palace to beg pardon from his spiritual master, but he could not find Brihaspati anywhere. Okay. Okay, so what happened? Because he was disrespectful, he actually lost all his opulence. So this is the effect if we offend a guru. All right, he lost all his opulence, and the impact was Lord Indra and along with the demigod, they were conquered by the demons. All right, so they all approached Lord Brahma. Okay, they took shelter of Lord Brahma. Of course, Lord Brahma chastised the demigod for their offense to their spiritual master. So Lord Brahma said, okay, let's do a yagya, and I'm going to give you this priest. He's called Vishwarupa, and he's going to give you protection so that you will be protected from the demons. So now the special feature of this person, this priest Vishwarupa, is on his mother's side, he's coming from a demon clan, and right, and from the father's side, he's coming from demigod's clan. So he's a mix of both. Okay, so King Indra inquired about Narayana Kavacha from Vishwarupa. So Vishwarupa gave the Narayana Kavacha to Lord Indra, but he was also coming half from the demon's side. He gave the remnants of the prasad from the yagya to the demons. Okay, he was being fair. Okay, so but what happened? Lord Indra didn't like it. He killed Vishwarupa for doing that act, for giving the yagya's prasad to the demons. So Lord Indra killed Vishwarupa. Now Vishwarupa had a father, Twasta. So Twasta, of course, was furious. He performed a sacrifice to kill King Indra. But what happened was he chanted the particular mantra wrongly, and a demon came out from the yagya. And that is the demon, that is Vritasura. Okay, this is the demon. Alright, so there's a short description here. When Vritasura was generated from the sacrifice, his fierce features made the whole world afraid, and his personal effulgence diminished even the power of the demigods. So if you remember the King Chitraketu who was cursed to be a demon by Mother Parvati, now he is this person. So if you remember, he was such a great Vaishnava in his previous life, but because of that incident, Mother Parvati cursed him. Alright. So the demon appeared. So finding no other means of protection. Okay, so this Vritasura wants to kill Lord Indra. Alright. The demigods began to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the enjoyer of all results of sacrifice, who is supreme throughout the entire universe. So the Lord was pleased with the worship, the prayers performed by the the demigods. He advised them, go and approach this particular personality, Dadichi, and ask him for a bone from his skeleton, and from that bone you make a thunderbolt. That will be the weapon for Lord Indra when he later on fights with Vritrasura. Okay, so you can see here a thunderbolt was prepared from Dadichi's bones. Later, a great fight took place between the demigods and the demons. So what happened? So this is the point here. So the great battle ensued between, this is Vritasura, he has trident, and this Lord Indra on the white elephant. So Indra cut off one of the Vritasura's arms. Okay, so while they were fighting, they were actually speaking, they were having conversation about Bhakti. Vritasura was kept chastising Lord Indra that you are so engrossed in your material opulences. You are not the controller. The Lord is the controller. So this is the first time the demon is glorifying the Lord in bhakti. Okay, so at one time, Vritasura actually struck Indra with an iron mace and disarmed him. So there, Lord Indra cannot fight back already. But what happened? Vritasura kept talking. He gave some more philosophical advices to Indra and say, okay, pick up, fight again. So this is how he was encouraging Lord Indra to fight, because the Airavata got actually hurt. The elephant's name is Airavata. He actually got hurt. But due to the encouragement from Vritasura, Lord Indra got up again and then they fight again. Okay, so during their discussion, Vritasura reveals his status as an advanced Bhakti yogi. So from the conversation, Lord Indra knows, are you a demon or are you a exalted Vaishnava? How come you have all this knowledge? So the conversation, and so this is all in Canto 6. If you really want, there's so many chapters we are compressing, to put in this chapter. And like I said, Vritasura reminded Indra of his heinous activities. Okay, you have to depend on Lord Vishnu in every respect. Then victory, opulence, peace of mind are all inevitably available. Okay, and then there are more advices he gave. Such a person has nothing for which to aspire in the three worlds. The Supreme Lord is so kind that he especially favors such a devotee by not giving him opulence that will hamper his devotion service. So here is a point where Krishna may not want to give whatever we ask for if he thinks that it is not going to help us, and or worse is if it's going to hamper our devotional service. All right. So finally, Vritasura will say, therefore, I wish to give up everything for the service of the Lord. Because Vritasura say, I wish I could kill you for all the heinous activities you did. You offended Guru and so on. But because you have gotten the blessings from Lord Vishnu, and because of Lord Vishnu, you have gotten the thunderbolt. So it is very clear Lord Vishnu is on your side. So definitely I will be killed by you. He already knows what's going to happen. All right. So he says, I wish always to chant the glories of the Lord and engage in his service. Let me become unattached to my worldly family and make friendships with the devotees of the Lord. I do not desire to be promoted to the higher planetary systems. Okay, I have no need for such things. So these are the things that Vritasura was talking to Lord Indra. So we can see that Vritasura, being a demon, he's got a very deep insight on spiritual knowledge. Despite fighting for his life, he speaks on various principles of Bhakti Yoga. One of the important points that he mentioned is to recognize the fleeting nature, the diminishing nature, the temporary nature of all opulence, fame, relative longevity, and everything else in this world. Okay, understanding that transient nature, also that temporary, short term, okay, not everlasting, transient nature of such things serves as an impetus for one to search for higher meaning and eternal life, which means your material enjoyment is very temporary. So this should be an impetus for us to search for higher meaning and eternal life. So, and he says the soul is eternal, so it needs greater fulfillment, more than just basic bodily pleasures. All right. So like this, they were not only were fighting, they were engaged in philosophical discourses. So, and then they started fighting again. So this time Indra was more powerful and he severed Vritasura's remaining arm. Okay, the Vritasura assumed a gigantic form and swallowed King Indra. But King Indra, he's got that talisman, right? The Narayana Kavacha. He burst out from Vritasura's body. He came out and he severed, with the thunderbolt, he severed Vritasura's neck. But that process actually took 1 full year. Right, see here, severing the demon's head took 1 complete year to accomplish. So it was said that during this whole process, Vritasura was absorbed in thinking about Lord Vishnu. Alright, so it's here. Throughout the whole process, Vritasura was constantly engaged on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So at the end, Vritasura went back to the spiritual world. So this is an example how a demon also can perform bhakti. So bhakti is not exclusive for certain age of people, certain people with certain level of knowledge, no such thing, right? Vritasura's story illustrates how anyone is eligible to take up Bhakti Yoga. It doesn't matter whether one is born in a demonic family. Okay. Remember, Prahlad Maharaj was born in a demonic family. Hiranyakashipu was a demon king, but he got a devotee child. Okay. And ultimately, later on, eventually, King Bali also, he fully surrendered everything. He was Prahlad Maharaja's grandson. Okay. Even though coming from in a demonic lineage. Okay, so another famous Bhakti yogi was Haridas Thakur. This is happened in 500 years ago during Mahaprabhu's time era. So Haridas Thakur was originally born in Muslim family, but remember the Haridas Thakur and prostitute story, where the prostitute eventually had a change of heart by hearing Haridas Thakur chanting. So this is the same personality. But despite being born in a Muslim family, he became a great devotee. He was even given the name Namacharya, which means the spiritual teacher of the holy name. So practitioners of Bhakti Yoga commonly chant the holy names of God in Maha Mantra. So this is the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra purifies the heart and removes distress from the chanter's life. Okay, so that was a long story. Now we are going to 9.3. Ravan did not do Bhakti Yoga, Mataji, because from the beginning he was making a lot of errors. He kidnapped the Lord's wife. And if you remember, Vibhishan also been telling him, you are not going to fight with the normal, ordinary king. This is the Lord himself. But he never listened, right? So he was, in that sense, he was atheistic, right? And he was claiming that he is powerful and all, right? Yeah. Hanuman is a great servant. He's the servant, Mataji. For one of the 9 devotional service is Dashyam. Dashyam means worshipping, being a servant of the Lord. And the epitome of that Dashyam is Hanuman. If the Dashyam, the servitorship, becomes given a form, that is Hanuman. He's like that. All right. Okay, 9.3. Jayamani Mataji.
Good evening, Matajis.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Ashraddadana Purushaha Dharmasya Parandapa Aprapya Mam Nivartanti Mirtu Samsara Vatmani. Translation: those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so the point here is faithfulness. Okay, that faith means is complete conviction that simply by serving the Lord, Supreme Lord Krishna, one can achieve all perfection. What does that perfection means? Return to the escape from the path of birth and death. All right, so that is called real faith. Having a conviction that with me serving the Lord under any circumstance, okay, beyond all obstacles, I will attain perfection. That is the conviction. That is the faith that we want to have. All right. Okay, it's like if you have a picture here. So you don't simply want to get on some ordinary bus. If you want to go to a certain destination, you want to ensure that it's a good company, it is sanctioned by government, and then you don't go and after establishing all the, you don't go and question the driver. Are you sure you have driving license? Can you really drive? You don't have that doubt already. You get on the bus having the faith that the bus driver knows fully about driving. Okay, we don't go and ask him, do you know driving? No, we have full faith on him. Similarly, we should have full faith that by serving Krishna only we can achieve perfection. Okay, so we follow the bus driver faithfully. Okay, moving on, 911. Jagadish Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay,
Hare Krishna.
9:11. Right. Avajananti mam muda manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama buddha maheshwaram. Fools decide me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, fools deride. Deride means ridicule. Yeah, ridicule, right? Treat him small. Oh, Krishna has come as a human, So they see him as mere human. Okay, so we always wonder if it's this bhakti is a very joyful thing to perform. It ends miseries. It destroys ignorance. Then why not everyone do it? Why not everybody taking up that bhakti? So here it is mentioned, Krishna is telling here is many people cannot understand the supremacy of Krishna. So they think Krishna is an ordinary being. Sometimes we have people saying, oh, God will not create something that he will never be able to carry. I mean, these kind of things we hear, right? Or he's just some person in history. He is a great man. He's just a great teacher. And all the opulences that he had and strength is because of his karma, or also because he became a cowherd boy because his karma. He is separated from the father and mother because of his karma, or Lord Rama had to go to the forest because of his karma. So this is how people deride in Krishna when he comes in human form. So they view Krishna as ordinary person. Oh, this Krishna is not a god. He looks just like us. So I don't think he's God. You have these kind of things people are saying. So this kind of people will never be able to grasp this confidential knowledge. Okay, because when they see Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, all the avatars perform various pastimes, they become bewildered. Okay, because they see they are performing pastimes that's like ordinary people, right? So they become bewildered, like Lord Brahma saw Krishna. Okay, later I will tell you the story in very brief manner. So Lord Brahma also thought, in fact, Mother Earth went to Lord Brahma, begged him, my earth is, I'm so burdened with so many demonic people, please do something. And Lord Brahma went to Krishna and begged Krishna to come, please do something. And despite Lord Brahma himself prayed to the Lord, and Lord came down, but Lord Brahma misunderstood the pastimes of Krishna. He even misunderstood Krishna because Krishna is behaving like an ordinary person with his friends. Okay, so in this sense, Lord Brahma was also bewildered. He also did not escape. Okay, all right. So yeah, people think that, oh, Krishna is born like a normal man because we are also not. We are born because our karmic reactions. Oh, Krishna also born like us, and therefore when he dies, he also dies because he dies the normal way, like how human dies. So it's not that Krishna's appearance and disappearance are extraordinary thing. It's not like us. Okay, so let me just brief you about this story here. Like Lord Brahma was looking down at Krishna. Krishna was having fun with friends. They share food. You have to see how Krishna share food. He grabs food from another Gopal's hand. He puts in his mouth. Sometimes he dig the friend's mouth, the food from the friend's mouth, and he. And then Lord Brahma thought, how come my Lord is behaving in such a manner? I don't think this is the Lord. So the whole pastime took place. Finally, Lord Brahma realized that he made a mistake, and he's seen here to be asking forgiveness from Krishna. So at this point of time, Krishna will bring all the Brahmas from different universes. So it is said that there are four-headed Brahma. So our universe Brahma is four-headed, and there is thousand-headed. There are 10-headed, 20-headed. It's based on the size of the universe. So for our universe size, our Brahma is four-headed. Okay, so that's interesting, right? All right, so yeah, Krishna is saying these people, he's very strongly saying those people who deride in me, they are fools. That's what Krishna is saying here. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be. Okay. So now we are moving into another section where Krishna is going to explain what will happen to different worshippers, what will happen to them, all right, where they will go, what are their destinations. Okay, 9:13. Okay, 9:13. Jai Sitarani Mataji, are you able to? Okay.
Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritaha bhajanti ananya manaso yatma bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. All right, so Krishna is telling here the devotees, they come under the protection of him, okay, divine nature. And what do? They don't sit idle, right? They don't sit idle. They always do this. There's another term, it's called satatam kirtayanto mam. Always speak about my glory. Satatam, always kirtayanto, kirtanam, always chanting my glories. Okay, so they are fully engaged in devotional service all the time, knowing that Krishna is the original and is inexhaustible. So those who are not deluded, okay, they are fully engaged in devotional service. They just don't stay quiet. They always are engaged in service, and therefore they become under complete protection of Krishna. So we have some pictures here about Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada, he left to US when he was very, very old. So when he went by ship, it's not an ordinary ship, it was a cargo ship. Okay, so he had 2 heart attacks. So he knew that if he gets one more heart attack and he cannot go on, all right, he will die. All right. So uh, if Krishna did not come to protect Prabhupada, okay, so what happened was actually Prabhupada had a dream after his second heart attack. So in his dream, Krishna came rowing a boat, and he said, "Come with me, don't worry, I will take care of you." So it was a dream that Prabhupada had. Prabhupada also wrote poem when he was on this Jaladuta's ship. So after that, it was history. Okay, in 12 years, Prabhupada built 108 temples. He traveled around the world 14 times. Okay, and he met millions of devotees. And you and I are sitting here is because Prabhupada took that step, that bold step, to come across the oceans to deliver the world. Okay, so this is a crowd behind Prabhupada. Wonderful kirtan is going on, and this is last moment of Prabhupada. If you can see this person, this one Prabhu is holding a tape recorder near to Prabhupada's mouth. So even in the deathbed, Prabhupada was giving Bhagavatam class. All right, so that's the sacrifice that Prabhupada has made. Like every moment of the day, every moment of his life, he spent for this. So Krishna definitely has protected Prabhupada until the end. All right. So what we should do after knowing this? We should be fully engaged in devotional service. Okay, this is a revision sloka as well. So what happened? Some other example. These are the example that I took from our level 1. So if you see here, Draupadi, she was in full surrender mode. Okay, if you see Mahatmanam, Maha means great, Atma means great soul. Mahatma means great soul. So how Krishna protect his great devotees? This is one example, Draupadi. People were trying to rip off her sari. Krishna manifested unlimited clothes to keep her covered. So you can see how Krishna takes care of devotees. With this, Krishna protects her chastity. So she had 5 husbands, but none of them were able to come forward to help. Krishna came to her because she called out to him. Initially, she was not calling out. There was no full surrender from her side. But when she finally called Govinda, then Krishna comes and provided the material unlimitedly. All right, so this is a family. So their needs are provided accordingly, sufficiently. Okay, they are engaged in devotion services, so their needs are provided by Krishna. So these are the power of protections by Krishna. So we want to endeavor to be qualified to get the protection. So how do we endeavor? To always be engaged in his service. Surrender unto me. That one Mataji, Tamari Mataji, that is the ultimate goal of Bhagavad Gita. If somebody asks, what is the goal of Bhagavad Gita? Krishna is telling, ultimately surrender unto me. In chapter 18, Krishna will say that. Of course, he's been telling that through how the Bhagavad Gita, but ultimately that is the goal. All right? So that's the ultimate surrender to me, unto me. Okay, so how are we to be qualified to get the protection? To be always engaged in his service. Okay, in daily life. Okay, you don't have to have extra endeavor. You just have to dovetail our lifestyle in Krishna consciousness. Okay, now we move on to 920. Kajai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I don't know the music, so I'll just read it out.
Can.
Traividya mam soma paputa papa yanyair svasvar kati pratyantate. Punyam asatya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divi deva bogan. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
Thank you, Mataji. So this, how do we sing this? Is Travityamam soma paputa papa yajnairisvasvagatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. Okay, so those who study the Vedas, okay, those who perform activities based on the Vedas and drink the Soma juice. So where do you get the Soma juice? Soma juice is available in heavenly planets. Okay, so we only have soda juice. So these are enjoyment in heavenly planets. Krishna says they are actually worshipping me indirectly. All right, worshipping me indirectly. Okay, purified of sinful reactions means after they finish the bank balances in heavenly planets due to their good karmas, they take birth on the heaven purified. Okay, it is mentioned that after they are purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra. So later Krishna will tell what happens to them when they exhaust the pious credits, where they enjoy godly delights. Okay, so these are the results of different worships. Okay, so continue here, then I will explain again. Yashoda Mai Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I also read this one. Tetam krutva swaka lokam visanam. Sini punye matya lokam visanti. Ivam trayi tamam anuprapana. Kata katam kama kama labhante. When they have thus enjoyed one's heavenly sense special and the result of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So Krishna is explaining here what happens after they exhaust their result of their pious activity. They return to the mortal planet. Okay, so this path, this karma kanda activity is based on the Vedic scripture, which is good. Gradually, it allows purification, but this path only offers repeated birth and death. It's just that you get to enjoy your heavenly pleasures, right? Drink so much juice. Okay, so after your price credit is exhausted, then you have to come down again. Okay, so what happens those who fails to understand Krishna, fails to grasp this knowledge that Krishna is the cause of all causes, they become baffled. Soma juice, I think it's the liquor in heavenly planets. Heavenly planets, Mataji, is full of enjoyment. They do not have old age and disease, but they have birth and death, and they have no miseries there. That's why everybody wants to go to heavenly planets. But in our Vedas, in our knowledge here in Bhagavad Gita, our ultimate target should not end at heavenly planets. Krishna is teaching us how to go beyond, because up to the highest loka, later I'll show you a chart, up to the highest loka, Satya loka, which is Brahma's loka, repeated birth and death take place. We are going to come down. So the cycle will repeat again and again. So, okay, so this kind of people, they are subjected to the routine of being promoted to the higher planets. And then again coming down. This is a routine. As if situated on a Ferris wheel. You can see this picture here. Ferris wheel go up and then come down and then go up and come down. Forever you're stuck there like a hamster. Alright. So the point here is that instead of being elevated to spiritual world, where there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply revolves in the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary system, jumping here and there, 14 planetary system, going up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, we are stuck there in that vicious cycle. Okay, 9.22. Meena Mataji, you around?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, welcome.
Okay. Ananyas Yanto Mam Ejana Parupastate Tesam Nitya Biyuktanam Yogasemam Vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form to them, I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
Thank you, Mataji. This one we always get excited with this verse, because Krishna says, one who worships me with exclusive devotion, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Okay. So what devotees get when they exclusively worship Krishna only? So again, we can take the example of Krishna. So you can see there's an illustration saying that Krishna, oh yeah, this is the boat here, you can see. So this is the dream that Prabhupada had. Krishna is coming and telling, don't worry, I will take care of you. Prabhupada had suffered 2 heart attacks. But Prabhupada was chased. He was chased to Krishna, that he knows that Krishna will protect him. And literally, Krishna protected Srila Prabhupada, and thus Srila Prabhupada arrived in US. So it is mentioned that when Prabhupada got down from the ship, he didn't know where to turn to left or right. You know, he was like that. But he was so determined to deliver the fallen souls, okay, from this material world. So that is the determination that he had. So that kind of surrender that we have to have for Krishna to protect us. So this verse also shows the special relationship Krishna has with pure devotees. So when Krishna sees someone very devoted, meditating on him, Krishna takes care of him. Krishna provides and maintains. Krishna provides, carry, and maintain. So there's a short story. Today we have so many stories. It's a very nice story actually. So there was a Brahmana who was so poor. You know, Brahmana, they don't work, right? And whatever they do, they get dakshina. So if they don't have any work, no dakshina, no food. And they have to go door to door begging for food. So one time this Brahmana was reading this sloka. Vahamyaham. Vahamyaham means I provide. Vahami, carry. Aham means I. So Krishna say, I carry. And at that point of time, the Brahmana was so frustrated that he knows that Krishna, he thought, Krishna knows that I'm suffering without food. Why he has not given me anything? So looks like I have to go and ask somebody to provide me. Krishna is not going to provide me. But he was a great devotee, yeah. So what he did was, he strikes off this word, Vahamyaham. He strikes off this word and he replaced with Karomyaham. Karomyaham means provided by somebody else. He changed that and then he told the wife, okay, I'm going to take a bath and I'm going to look for food and come back. So he left. So what happened was, after he went out begging for food, two boys came to the house. So the wife attended to them. One was blackish and one was white. So they were carrying a lot of food. They told the Brahmana's wife, we brought food for you. Our master sent this food for you. He asked us to bring this food to you. So and the wife invited them in, but the boys say, no, we have to go quick. We are afraid your husband will come back and scold us. Then the wife was so surprised. What do you mean? Why are you afraid? He's a nice man. No, look at us. He beat us. Then they showed the back and there were big strokes on their back. There were marks. She was so very shocked. I never knew my husband could be like this. He's usually a gentleman. All right. So they quickly left. All right. So the husband came home. And when he came home, he was so surprised to see so much of food in the house. And he asked where she got that food from. You sent your students with the food. They came here. There were two boys. One was blackish and one was white. And the Brahmana was so surprised. What boys? I did not send anybody. All right. So he was going back to his place where he was reading, right? Then he saw that the book that he strike off. Then it dawned on him that must be Krishna. That's because I didn't have faith on his word when he said, I carry what they lack. Vahamyaham. He had no faith on that word Vahamyaham. And he felt so bad for that. Alright, like he was so blessed that Krishna came personally to demonstrate that or to prove that he provides for pure devotees. He was so surrendered. The Brahmana was so surrendered. So he realized that because he crossed that word, it was tantamount. It's like beating Krishna's back, and Krishna got that marks. So Krishna personally came down to show him, to convince him that he is going to take care of them, the devotees. Right? So this word, Vahamyaham. Okay, so we move on. 925. Prema Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yanti Devavrata Devan Ritin Yanti Privrataha Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Madhya Jinopi Mam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna is giving different consciousness and their destinations. Okay. So of course Krishna says those who are worshipping me, they ultimately worship me, but they are doing it in different consciousness. So usually when we pray to demigod, demigods are said to be easily pleased with yagya and they will grant you whatever we ask for. All right. But Krishna said up to the Satya Loka, even demigods, these are the positions, right? So powerful living beings, they elevate their lives to the demigod position. So even they have birth and death. So for a person to have birth and death, the boons and the benefits they give also has beginning and ending. So it's temporary. So Krishna is saying those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. So worshippers go where their faith is reposed. So this is the destination of different worshippers. Because their consciousness naturally carries them to that to which they are attracted to. So Krishna clearly outlined our choice. You take this course, you get this job. You take this course, you get this job. You take this course, you get this job. So everybody at one point of time, we have to accept one object of worship or another as our goal, right? We are guided by that. So to encourages us to choose correctly, Krishna is giving the next 9 verses. We may not cover all, but this is the essence of it. Okay, so now if you're wondering where is this ghosts and spirit. Actually, I wanted to show you, this is not in your original PDF, your PowerPoint. So I wanted to show you where these planets of ghosts and spirit. You all want to know? I hope you all can see this chart. This is the best resolution I can get. Okay, yeah, this is interesting, right? Anything on space all is very intriguing, right? Okay, so if you remember when I did the 6 categories avatars, this is Garbhota Kashayi Vishnu. He enters into each universe and he lies down at the bottom of this universe. So if you know causal ocean, Karana the Kasai Vishnu, from his pores, unlimited universes are coming out from his pores. So they are, say, in the shape of egg. All right, so at the bottom, Garbhota Kasai Vishnu lies down, and from his navel, the lotus comes out, and Lord Brahma sits here. Okay, now you can see here, there are 14 rings here, 14 planetary system. We are here. Like you're in a mall, you will go to the lift and then you will be given, there's a signboard, right? You are here. So here, there's a small caption here, you are here. This is our planet Earth. This is Bhuloka, Earth planet. Okay, this is middle planet. And then on top of us is Bhuvar Loka. This is where Rakshasa and ghosts live. All right. And between this and Swarga Loka, the demons reside. Okay, so in Swarga Loka is actually heavenly planet. Indra Loka resides. And above there is Mahaloka, Jana Loka. Jana Loka is a planet of 7 sages. After that, Tapa Loka. Tapa Loka, those who perform tapasya, they go here. And then the highest is Satya Loka. This is Lord Brahma's abode. These are all material world. Okay. Now, so we went up, right? We went up here. Here, these are lower planets. These are higher planets. It's written here. These are lower planets. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. Patala and hellish planets. Okay, so the hellish planets are down here. Okay, so these are the ghost planets. Okay, so we don't want to go there. We don't even want to go to heavenly planet because we're going to come back to Earth. Okay, we want to transcend this material universe. Okay, so I hope that's okay. And some extracts from Bhagavatam is this, all right? Heaven was established as the residence of the demigods. Okay, so that's very clear, right? Bhuvar Loka as that of the ghostly spirits. So ghostly spirits live in Bhuvar Loka. And the Earth system as the place of human beings. So human beings reside here, Earth planets, and other mortal creatures. So between Bhuvar Loka and Bhuloka is Antariksha. This is where Rakshasa, Yaksha, Pisachas and ghosts reside. Pisachas planet where people go when they do black magic. These are the destination of those people. Okay, so later in chapter 13, I think Krishna will say, those who worship demons, they go to, those who in the mode of passion, they worship demon. Those who mode of ignorance, they worship ghosts and spirits. So this is their destinations. All right, so okay, so we move on. Let's come back to the Earth. Right, so whichever country we want to travel, okay, earlier we saw this, right? The aeroplane here, right? Yeah. So wherever we want to go, we need visa. Somebody has to authorize that visa. That is the government, the embassy. So similarly, we need to understand the authority of the government who wants to let us go to other planets when we die. So that authority is Krishna. So we need the authority of Krishna to leave this earth and to go to other planets. Whatever it is we worship, whoever worship Krishna has to authorize that. Whether it's a heavenly planet or ghostly planet or Goloka. Okay, otherwise we are going to be born only on Earth planet again. So the role of this Krishna conscious movement, yes, Mataji, they will come back because everywhere, because they are in ghost body because due to some reactions. So once the suffering is over, they will be given a mortal body again. I also read that in Bhagavatam. Wait, Mataji, I think I took that down. Maybe I didn't read. Yeah, okay. I think I need this. Okay. Between Bhuvaloka and Bhuloka is Antariksha, an interplanetary space where living beings like Rakshasa, Yaksha, Pisachas, and ghosts reside. They often descend on earth and are generally inimical to humans. Usually they will be born later as humans. That's why sometimes probably we have humans behaving demoniac because of the previous nature. Yeah, so yeah. Thank you for the question, Mataji. I missed that line actually. I wanted to read that. Okay, so what is the role of Krishna conscious movement here? What are we doing here? It is we are propagating the sublime process of simply chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and going back to Godhead, transpass all the material planets. So devotional service can take us to Krishna's planet. So next comes the very famous verse, Prema Papu Mataji.
Yes,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Patram puspam palam toyam yomi bhaktya priyachate tadaham bhakti upartam asnami prayatat manaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So we can see from the picture here, we don't have to do this. This person is sitting inside the ring of fire. I don't know what he has on his head, and he's doing great tapasya. So Krishna did not ask us to do all this. He only asked, give me this leaf, flower, a fruit, or water. I will accept it. So from here we can see that Krishna is not a meat eater. That's one first point. So he did not ask grand feast. We only have to offer to Krishna simple things, because Krishna, if you remember, I shared one Brahma Samhita verse where Lord Brahma is glorifying Krishna, that Krishna is being served by thousands of goddess of fortune. So what are we? How can we actually equate our offering to fortune, the mother goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi? How are we going to equate our offering to her? Definitely cannot, right? So Krishna only wants love. So how do you give that love to him? Through a leaf, water. Leaf means like tulsi leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. I will accept it. So you don't have to offer everything at one time. Like you don't have to find I have to find flower, I have to find fruit, I have to find water, I have to find leaf, and then everything together. No, Krishna says, or okay, one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. He didn't say and, right? So Krishna is being so kind. He just wants our love. He wants us to purify our consciousness. So these are the things that are available everywhere. So we cannot say it's very difficult to find, right? And we can also see from here that Krishna is not greedy, he is not hungry, he has many Lakshmi serving, so he doesn't need this from us actually. Krishna just wants our love. So it's a very important sloka. Okay. So here you can see Bhakti is mentioned twice. So Krishna stresses on this term Bhakti. Okay, and he's also saying how easy to perform devotional service. No need to sit in the ring of fire. Okay, so we show our devotion by offering something. So we all can do this. If you have more, of course you can give. Right? See whatever is possible for us. You can say offer food. If your food has onion garlic, then don't worry. You can have curd rice, simple, or you can make a smoothie, fruit smoothie. Right? You can give chapati and milk at night before you eat it. Chapati is vegetarian. All right. So you can put milk or ghee, and then your offering is done. So if you want to, if anybody so far have not started offering and you want to know how to offer, there are simple mantras which I can share with you. So you can just calling. Okay, I can tell you how to do the offering. Okay, so whatever you offer, you just put a small tulsi leaf on it. Okay, so if you have nice tulsi plant around your house, so you can engage that tulsi plant, because it is mentioned that when you offer flower or leaf from to Krishna, the plant that bears that fruit and tree, they will get better birth. But one time Prabhupada mentioned, he specifically mentioned that tree will get human birth. but definitely there is benefit for that tree and also us. All right. Okay, so okay, I have one story about fruit vendor. Do you know this story? So one time that this fruit vendor came around Nanda Maharaj's house carrying fruits. Okay, now you can see jewels, but actually her basket was filled with fruits. All right, so Krishna came, I want fruits. Then the fruit vendor lady said, you need to pay. So Krishna ran into the house. He with his little chubby hand, he grabbed some rice grains and he ran. So all the way when he ran, a lot of rice grain fell off from his hand. So by the time when he come and show the fruit vendor, there were only few grains left. But the fruit vendor lady was Krishna was so adorable. He was so captivated with his cuteness and beauty. He said, never mind, put all your rice in my basket and take how much fruits that your hands can take. So she filled Krishna's hand with so much of fruits until whatever that he can carry. So she went off. She went off, and later on she felt the basket was feeling very heavy. And when she looked at it, the grain that the rice grain that Krishna put in her basket along with all other fruits, it became jewels. It turned. So why Krishna gave that? Because the lady was so she wanted to give everything that she had, whatever that Krishna can hold. So she just surrendered all the fruits that she had. She didn't bother about how much Krishna is going to pay her. All right. So another story is very nice story. Vidura. Vidura is Dhritarashtra's brother. Okay, Dhritarashtra's brother. Yeah. So Duryodhana one time invited Krishna for a feast, and Krishna gave so many reasons he didn't want to go because he was not comfortable with the consciousness of Duryodhana. Okay, so he told, oh, I'm not hungry, oh, I'm not going to eat, I'm going to Vidura's house. So when Krishna went to Vidura's house, Vidura was not even prepared. So Krishna was knocking his door, and then when Vidura opened, who came at this hour? And Krishna was leaning on the pillar and smiling and say, I'm here, do you have anything for me to eat? What, you came so late, I didn't expect you to come, I don't have any food. And then he went behind and he talked with his wife, what do we have to give Krishna now? We only have rice and spinach. Okay, quickly do something and I will go and talk to Krishna for a while. So they were talking and the wife quickly cooked spinach and chapati. Not rice, spinach and chapati. So when Krishna ate, he said, oh, this is the most delicious chapati and spinach that I ever had because they cooked with love. Vidura's house was very simple. But all he wanted to do is he wants to serve Krishna to his best. So after the meal, the wife wanted to give banana to Lord Krishna. So they were she was so engrossed in seeing Krishna with so much of love, she wants to give the banana. She actually throw the banana and give the peels to Krishna. But Krishna ate it. And then Vidura suddenly saw that, oh my Lord, no. Krishna said, no, don't take it away. I want to eat this. And then, the wife name is Vidurani. So Vidurani was so horrified at the stupidity and she said, oh, please forgive me. How can I make such a mistake? Now, here, take the banana. Don't eat the peel. Then Krishna said, no, I want to eat the peel. So why? But why? The Krishna took another bite of it and he said, because it was offered with love. So like that, Krishna accepts. He doesn't accept the material thing that we are offering, but it's the love that comes through that offering. So like that, Krishna wants only our simple offering. If you remember, if anybody is familiar with the Sabari story, Sabari waited because Sabari's guru said one day Lord Rama and Lakshmana is going to come and that time you need to serve them, and the guru passed away for a very long time already, but every day she will pluck flowers and fruits and wait for Lord Rama to come because they were in the forest, right? So one fine day Lord Rama came and she was so excited. She gave these berries. She actually wanted to ensure that the Lord gets the sweetest of the berries. She actually tasted the berry and gave. And Lakshman was like, oh my Lord, you are eating whatever she has tasted. Then Lord said, don't worry about that. She's giving out of love. She wants to give the best to me. So like that, the Lord accepted her offering. But of course, I'm not saying that we can do that, but we can see Sabari is such an exalted position that the Lord didn't even bother about it. All right. So these are very nice stories how devotees give all out offering to Krishna. Okay. All right, so there are some practical applications here I would like to share. I added here. So one who engages in Krishna's loving service, he is guaranteed permanent bliss in abode, supreme abode for eternal happiness. All right. Yes, Mataji. Oh, thank you, Mataji. Yeah, I enjoyed preparing for you as well. So Krishna accepts anything offered in love, a leaf, flower, fruit, or water. Okay, next point is Bhakti is easy and universal. Like I said, Bhakti can be done by anyone. You can start speaking about this knowledge to a child in the womb, right? It says that when you do this, when the child is in the womb, the child will be calm. When the mother listens to lectures, the baby will be born calm. Okay. Universal, animal can do bhakti, right? I had a dog. I was only giving vegetarian food until I got married and came off. So it's possible. So nobody can say, oh, this is not the nature of a dog. It's a carnivore and you have to give meat. No, for a couple of years, the fella survived on vegetarian food. All right. So some people, they only give prasadam. So like that, anybody can do bhakti. You'll never know what's the benefit the dog will get or animal will get in the next life. So it's the simplest process among all the karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. This is the simplest process with highest perfectional stage. Okay. So why do we offer? Because if we enjoy without offering, it's gonna give us reactions. You're gonna kill a plant, it's also a living being. You are gonna incur vikarma. So who's gonna take that? We have to eat somehow, right? So we have to eat something and we have to destroy the plant. So we have to offer to Krishna. So Krishna sanctifies it. Okay, so what is the attitude? Love, devotion. Remember, Krishna used that word bhaktya twice. Okay, so I think that's about that points from 9.26. Okay. Yeah, Pushpa Mataji, 9.27.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yat karosi yat asnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurusva mat arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So there are people who are not able to offer food. Okay, you see here, he's angry because the wife is not serving food, because the wife only thinks about loving him. But what happens? When she actually applies that love, she actually expressed that love by serving, then there is happiness, there is reciprocation. So that's how Krishna reciprocate. So for those who are not yet able to practice pure devotional service, what do? This is what Krishna is saying here. Whatever you do, you offer to me. Whatever you eat, you offer to me. Whatever you offer or give away, you do it as a sacrifice to me. Whatever austerities you do, you perform in the name of me. You sacrifice to me. So this is about offering to Krishna the food, and here the serving of prasadam to some community. Sometimes there are we call this program Food for Life. We give prasadam for homeless people, like the soup kitchen, that kind of program, and for flood victims, for some other places they have earthquake problems and disasters. So the Food for Life goes out and give the prasadam to them. So it's 2 in 1. You do community service and you also give them an everlasting benefit. Okay, so whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, you do it as an offering to me. Okay, 9.34. This is the last sloka. Yeah, Saras Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita 9.34. Manmana bhava mat bhakto mat yaji mam namaskuru mam yevasyasi yuktaivam atma manam mat parayana. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is the essence, like Tamare Mataji highlighted just now. The essence is surrender. Later, this verse, 99% similar to this, will appear in chapter 18 as well. So, which means Krishna is giving so much importance on this sloka. So, how to engage the mind? Think of Krishna. How to think of Krishna? You engage the mind in remembering Krishna's eternal form, the primal form of Krishna. So what actually helps that? The chanting. That is the best way to think of Krishna. And how do you think? You have to hear first. You want to think of somebody, you need to know something about somebody. So if you haven't heard of Krishna, it's very difficult to think of Krishna. You have to remember his qualities, his forms, his nature. So all this you have to remember. So we have to hear first. This is what we are doing now. Okay. And yeah, thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisance to me and worship me. So being completely absorbed. So chanting allows us to be completely absorbed thinking about Krishna. And finally, we will go to Krishna. All right. So here, this one example, thinking of me through chanting, kirtan, becoming devotee, paying obeisance. Okay, this is paying obeisance, because if you do not bow down to Krishna, we are going to bow down to birth, death, old age, disease. We have to bow down to these material miseries. So if we bow down to Krishna, then we will be released from the miseries. So here, I think this is Srila Prabhupada. I'm not so sure, but this is an example how to do worship. Okay, do arati. You can simply perform with like children, right? I don't allow my children to go near fire, right? So they do using incense. So they do that every morning. They do that. So you can engage the children like that. Okay. Right. So here you can see what happened in the Vritasura story earlier. Twasta wanted to perform a yagya to kill King Indra, but what happened? He made an error in the mantra and came out a demon. Okay, so we don't have that problem because our Maha Mantra is very simple. It will never go wrong. You chant it playfully, jokingly, there's benefit. All right. So there's never a right time. Okay. You cannot say I'm too young, I want to play, or I'm too much in love, I need to settle down a lot of things, and oh, I'm so busy now, I'm working, I have this, I have that, I'm so busy, later. Oh, now I'm so old, I cannot move, I cannot walk, I cannot think. Okay, this is Jagannath story, right? Okay, Mataji, yes. I remember I promised you all one time. Let's find another day to do that. Okay, so I'm too old. Finally, what happens? Out of chances already, too late. Then you have to come back again, start all over again, and then you keep giving these kind of reasons. It's not going to end. So what we are saying is, please spare some time to read and analyze, realize the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot say, I'm too young, I just started my ABC. So this school girl is saying, I'm sorry, I'm busy with exams and school. And then this young girl here is saying, I'm in love, maybe next time, perhaps after my wedding, And then this mother with pregnant with child, I'm expecting, we are having a family now. In any case, I'll ask my husband and get back to you. And then this old woman here saying, I'm too weak and tired with aches and pain, I can't do any service. All right, finally the person dies, and then the subtle body is telling, I'm too late, I did not act to realize my true identity, I have wasted my human birth, my colorful life with money, family and friends is useless at the time of death. But the angel of death comes and say, it is time for you to accept another body. However, there is no guarantee that you will get a human body in your next life. Okay, so many of us always say this, let me settle down. Okay, let me finish this first, then I'll come, like that. So there's never a time that you're going to sit and focus. We're not asking you to go to forest and renunciate and meditate. No, as you go on your life, just dovetail your lifestyle in Krishna. Just imbibe Krishna in your lifestyle. Okay. Does it depend on your karma? It may be, Mataji, but we can make a change with the devotees association. Yes, we can make a change. Okay, that's why they say the devotees mercy is causeless. It is not subject to any karmic reactions. Okay. So we don't want to give, we want to give flowers to somebody when it's still fresh, right? We don't want to give them wilted flower, dyed flower, old flower. So similarly, when we want to offer ourselves to Krishna, we want to offer something when we can energetically do something, right? We can physically use our limbs to do something for Krishna. We don't want to wait until we are so old and we cannot do anything. You will have a lot of desire to do. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to go to Holy Dham, but my knees are not, allowing me to. So we try to make use of our human life as early as we can. All right. So I will go through the recap. It's already 9 plus. So the most intimate knowledge of the absolute truth is obtained through proper hearing. What is the qualification? It is non-enviousness and faith. Okay, faith, like how Prabhupada had faith. So this is how you receive the most confidential knowledge. Unalloyed bhakti, kevala bhakti. And then Krishna explained how different people who appreciate Krishna in different ways, according to their level of consciousness, they get different destination. And Krishna said, if you worship me, then you will come to me. Okay. So that will free us from the repeated cycle of birth and death. Worship of Lord Krishna is superior because the Lord takes direct interest in the life of his devotee. Remember the Brahmana story? As much as you surrender, Krishna will carry what we lack and preserve what we have. Whatever is necessary for our bhakti life, Krishna will provide that and maintain that. So bhakti is easy and universal. Remember, anybody can perform it anytime, anywhere. That is the simplest process with highest perfectional stage. It's perfect. So the most essential quality of bhakti, this is the essence of the bhakti, which stands out, is that the Lord personally reciprocates with his devotee. You'll be surprised how Lord reciprocates with devotees. So when we share, we feel so inspired. Our faith is strengthened. Our faith is it's like reinforced, it's strengthened, it increases. All right, so it brings them closer to him. Okay, so the easiest way of absorption is through chanting of the holy names. So I'm just going to recap again that 4 things that Krishna said. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. This is the practical, right? Step by step or different ways. Offer obeisance to me. Worship me. So with that, you will be delivered from the material world. So therefore, we have come to the end of this most confidential knowledge. This is the knowledge about pure unalloyed devotion and delineates the glories of the Lord, specifies the glories of the Lord. That is the most confidential knowledge. Okay, Mataji, can. So that's it. Anybody wants Srimad Bhagavatam, you can contact us. The Gita kit is 56 ringgit now. Any questions, Mataji? I will stop. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed the class today. All the story, we had so many stories today. I will share, Mataji. You want me to share? This one, Mataji. Sorry. This one? Okay. So I will share both versions. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. I think I owe you all like 2 more classes to be uploaded on YouTube. So I will do that soon. So what happened is I've added a lot of things in this session. And I'm going to share 2 versions, the original version and also the one that I've edited, so you can refer. For your quiz, I think the original version should be sufficient. All right. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, Hare Krishna, I've taken extra 5 minutes. Yeah, I will upload soon, Mataji, and I will share probably tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mataji. Any questions, Mataji? Anything you want to ask? Thank you. Oh yeah, forgot. Tomorrow, the Japa workshop. Please, everybody attend. Please attend, okay? Tomorrow is English, the day after is Tamil. So we'll have more of such sessions time to come. Okay, Mataji, if no questions, then we can call it a night. Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow is Japa. Japa means chanting, right? So Japa workshop. I have no idea what is the content of the Japa workshop, but usually Japa workshop means the techniques to chant, some tips, things like that. The glories as well. Okay. I will share the quiz now, Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.